Another AriasWave video. My name is Mike and we're looking at the chart on Bitcoin, and we are potentially seeing the beginning of a third wave incoming. So the reason for that is because we had the move up overnight, which was another nail biting move, to be honest. It definitely came back to try and spook you out of the market, but I was asleep, so I didn't see it. Woke up to this. All right, so now we produced another wave 2, but this time the retracement was only 50%. Well, it appears to be. If price continues to go up from here, then it was a 50% retracement compared to back down here where we had, well, the start of the first wave 1 had a 0.786. The wave 1 of wave 3 had not quite 0.786, in between 0.618. So you'd expect basically, the corrections to get shallower and not be as deep. From the previous video, I did say that we would get an E wave. The wave C extended a little bit more than I expected in terms of that D wave correction. We did get the E wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before the big bounce. Now at this point I'm like, okay, all day I've been watching this thing dilly-dally and then finally start moving down to the 50% level. Are we starting to see a move up now? Potentially. It's very hard to discern these waves when they start to get sharp like this. That's why it's good to understand the turning points, right? Rather than trying to, sort of understand every tiny single little wave. It's really hard. Like I can discern A, B, C, D, E, but that could be wrong. Like that's my best effort here. It's not something that I really want to report on. It's a minute level interaction, right? It's really hard to try and pin that. Like I could pin this one, but then after that you get the sharp, confirmation type move. And for me, the first thing I do when I see these moves is I try to, see, is there any way that it could be potentially like a corrective pattern that might come back against me, right? Apart from the inverse head and shoulder pattern with confirmation, apart from any of that, I always look for like patterns in here that basically say, hey, could this be an A, like an A, B, C, D, E, and then we're going to come back down to make a new low? I can't really do that. I really cannot see anything to the downside. So I always play devil's advocate. It's very important when you're dealing with these waves, even if they do seem legit. It does seem 100%, does seem bulletproof. It's always, prudent to try and form a bearish view if you're bullish, and vice versa, really. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, we should start moving considerably higher in the next few hours. Overnight, for sure, we should be much higher. We're aiming to break, right, the 88,788 level. That's going to be full confirmation of this move. The reason why it hasn't quite done that so quickly just yet, apart from the symmetry, the rounded bottom type of symmetry, is also because we hit the 1 hour 200 period moving average. So this is going to require a bit of effort from the market to come back and break through not only the 200 period, but the 1000 period, right? Now, a lot of people probably don't use the 1000 period, but is very important. It's a very important level, the 1000 period. Like throughout my journey of, discovering the AriasWave pattern and back testing it, I've always thrown on these two indicators, as I find that they're really helpful, right? Some people use 100 and 200 or 50 and 100, like 50 and 200, whatever. Like to me, it's more important to have a longer term perspective versus the shorter term 200 period, especially when you get down to the intraday trading and also the mid level, like the 1 hour, the 4 hour, that type of thing. If you go to the 4 hour, right, it's actually quite interesting because we've also hit that as well. So there's definitely a lot of resistance there, but it doesn't mean that it's going to completely obliterate the trade. It just means that it's loading up the chamber, getting ready for getting ready to execute the trade, getting ready to execute the move that's going to push through all that resistance that you can't see unless you understand these moving averages, which I've grown to accept and learn that they are very important because a lot of people are looking at them. So at this point, it's still in progress. We haven't seen the complete lift off yet, but once you get that, you can rest easy that knowing that it's just going to continue higher. But for now, it's just about waiting and waiting until we get that across the line. No pun intended. And yeah, and then once we get that, we can move higher. Now, I've partnered with Femex to offer AriasWave for free. I used to charge 500 USD to teach that, but I since took it off for a number of years now, and look, it's back, and I'm going to give it to you for free because I don't want to sell a course. A lot of people don't like that. I will instead allow you to learn it for free if you just sign up to an exchange, and you can start trading using your own funds in your own way. And I will offer a second exchange shortly, right? And to give you some options, right? And then, there's no excuse. You sign up, you trade, and then if you stay for more than a month, you get coaching on top of that. So I can teach you one-on-one if you want it. You don't have to have it, but it's definitely going to help you in terms of how I produce my ideas, how I understand patterns and tips and tricks, and how I formulate my process of, well, if this happens, what's next, what to expect, and so on and so forth. Here we're dealing with a corrective pattern, right? This is completely corrective. I believe Bitcoin hit its final high early this year, and I think that we're just purely corrective at the moment. Does that mean Bitcoin can't go higher? No, it doesn't mean that. It just means for this part of the trade, for this part of the analysis, we have a certain priority for one wave. We're just gonna trade that one accordingly, and then take the profit, look for a new setup, right? I'm dealing with wave by wave analysis and trading these days. In the past, I used to try and extend out longer, and it doesn't really work. It's best to do short-term trades with good setups. They don't always come along, but I'm going to try and incorporate those shorter-term, trade setups on this channel moving forward. And I mean, there's a lot more to come. I'd like to explain that a bit more, but I'm running out of time on this video. Why don't you boost this video and like it if you want to make these profits on these big moves? If you want to learn AriasWave, why not show some support? Thanks for watching.